Hey Witchlings, welcome to part 1 of our Haunted Hospital series.
Hey guys, welcome to Hex and Chill. This is Kay, Shay, and Lou, and today Tim will be joining us as a little guest appearance. That is my partner. Say hello to the people in the back, Tim.
Hello.
Crushed it. All right.
Nailed it.
And today we'll be talking about 2 haunted hospitals that we went to. Boom,
Well,
boom, boom.
some of us went to.
Oh yeah. Lou didn't go to the second one
So sad.
because she works nights. So
Well, I work weekends, but yes. Also at night.
and night.
Bruh.
What? Stop. There's no one there.
Someone literally just opened that curtain.
we
and then
saw the child last time.
But there's no lights on. Like, genuinely looked like nobody was there. And the way they just closed that was so slow.
We're going to make Shay. We're going to close the blinds because she.
I'm not kidding. I
mean,
just watch it happen.
How fitting that she saw something when we're doing this episode.
If Shay lived in this house, it'd be like Rear Window. She'd just like sit and stare at the house all day.
I'd be like Kristen Bell in that one
that's
show.
Oh yeah.
Where it was like the
Veronica
lady that lives in the
Mars.
house across the
Oh,
street or
nope.
something like that.
Yeah.
No, not Veronica Mars.
Oh my god.
a
I've gardened
great
before
show.
this, everyone. It's fine.
It's fine. All right, guys. So yes, we went to 2 haunted hospitals, one after another, like 2 nights in a row. We were tired,
Yep.
but
we did it.
our friends Donna and Todd, who we met at Red Boiling Springs at the Thomas House, invited us, and we were like, "We're going."
It's a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
We've got to.
And just for context, I also wasn't able to go to Red Boiling Springs, but I've heard of Todd and Donna since you guys went, and I've been so excited to meet them. So I finally got to meet them.
And they're
It lived
They're
up to
literally
all
the best.
expectations. They're
Yes,
amazing.
shout out to Paranormal Adventure Couple. They are on TikTok, so if you are interested in following their journey, they do a lot more ghost hunts than we do. They are well versed in the universe.
yeah. So we're going to start off with a brief history of our first location, which is Shay. Tell us about it.
All right. So take us down to South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, to the old South Pittsburgh Hospital. Now, the old South Pittsburgh Hospital was founded in 1959, which you will see that the next hospital that we talk about actually opened earlier and stayed open a lot later than this hospital.
And that one's cool because you can like see the line of the old hospital and the new hospital, and we'll talk about that shift there.
Yeah,
It's pretty
absolutely.
crazy.
Yeah. There were also some additions that were made to the old South Pittsburgh Hospital, but the transition between the new and the old was not as evident as it was with the Harriman Hospital. I'm going to tell you a little bit of history about Old South Pittsburgh first. So this building was approximately 68,000 square feet, and there were multiple additions before 1980. It is also built on land with a natural spring that feeds directly into the Tennessee River.
Kind of like the Thomas House. Very
Correct.
similar.
Yep, just like that. Now, there's also some Native American significance to the property as well, and it was also influenced by Civil War activity. So there's a lot of stuff that's been going on around this area. Like I said, this hospital opened in 1959, and it was open until 1998, which, that's decades of care, right? It was also staffed by local physicians, nurses, and support personnel. And it was actually central healthcare in this region. But it did close due to financial pressures, competition from newer hospitals, and then also operational challenges. Now, after it was closed, it was left mostly vacant, but it also deteriorated and actually ended up becoming a hotspot for paranormal investigators and ghost hunters.
It actually, the guy who owned it before Ronnie now, who is the guy that owns both these hospitals, we met him. He's super cool. He's trying to throw his hat in for the Conjuring House. So we'll see if Ronnie gets
Hey.
it. He told us that the previous owner was like a hoarder, and it was like filled, like really, really packed.
He told us how many
Hoarder.
tons of garbage they removed, and it was
Like
an ungodly amount. Like, I can't remember.
How many cars was it? It was like a few cars, right?
Yeah.
50 to 60.
Perfect. Thank you, Tim. Anyways, this guy was a hoarder, and the place was disgusting. And hoarder in a bad sense too, where like feces and all this stuff. So the Wraith Chasers, they did an investigation before Ronnie, and we were like, yeah, we like had to crawl over stuff, and it was like disgusting.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
Shaylin's
now-
staring out the window now. But now
Ronnie and his team cleaned it up, and it's still an abandoned hospital, but it
it's
looks
better.
fantastic. Yeah.
Well, fantastic that it
was spooky.
Hospital.
Yeah, very spooky.
It felt great.
I think one of the cool things for me is that the hospital really had a presence in the community. So we went on a Friday night, the beginning of September. And so it was one of the first Friday Night Lights football games for the community. It was a home game. Like, you could see all the town gathering. And it is probably a half mile away from the football stadium the hospital is. So I found that, just thinking back on when it was active, it definitely had to have some sort of energy. And now being abandoned, it's still this kind of staple in the community, known for whatever spooky things are happening there.
That's true.
So maybe we should talk about the spooky lore.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're pretty much, this whole place is just being investigated, and that's the only thing that it's being used for currently. Now, you can go on guided tours, overnight investigations, and then also they have historical preservation events, which is really cool. Let's talk a little bit about our spirits. Okay, so first up we have the spirit of a boy named Buddy.
Which we felt like we ran into him.
We were in Buddy's room.
We were in that one, but the one in the hallway with the little boy playing with the light in the cars, remember? That
True.
one was like more active than his actual room.
So yeah, I'd say we were in his room. We really didn't I feel like we didn't have a presence there.
Yeah, so who is Buddy? Because we didn't meet him, I think.
So this is there. I don't think that he might be verified, but how he passed away is all alleged. But he apparently died from a snake bite. Who's to say how accurate that is? But there are lots of reports that have folks interacting with this spirit called Buddy. Now, our experience, especially in his room, first of all, when we were in his room, there were lots of people in there.
Yeah, there were. So the Wraith Chasers were there and doing certain rooms at certain times. So we were with that group with them in Buddy's room.
Which is not, I would say for us, like, we don't necessarily love to investigate that way. We really like to take our time and, like, be separate from a bunch of people. But in that case, it was actually really eye-opening because that was the first time that we were interacting with the Wraith Chasers as they were hunting. So it worked out well, but I would say we felt more of a presence from the actual spirit of Buddy in a different area.
If that was Buddy. I agree, though, that being able to explore and investigate on our own was great. And that was what was unique about both these experiences, is that you felt like you had full reign of the entire hospital, which for me, I've never been able to explore a hospital like that before. And so that was fascinating. But it was enjoyable getting to see celebrity investigators do their thing and use their technology and whatnot. My favorite moment from that room is that, again, this was our first time really getting into the investigation and using the technology. And so having headphones with a voice recorder or the ASMR, what is our radio called? For
The spirit box?
The spirit box.
With the Estes method?
Yes, Ested.
Estes.
Estes. Yeah, that's what I said.
ASMR.
Estes. ASMR radio. Having those in the room while they were investigating, I was able to debunk an EVP they may have captured because I was also listening with headphones and a recorder at the same time when in Buddy's room. And so it was just fun to participate in that type of investigation.
I love that we were able to walk around by ourselves because we got to get as spooked as we wanted to. And then when we were in that room, I enjoyed seeing a different perspective. Like, they brought a toy for Buddy because in their previous investigation, he said something about fishing. So they brought him a fishing pole, and it was cool because I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, if we ever went back, I would want to bring a dinosaur because the crazy thing is Shay was sitting on the bed next to this giant dinosaur toy. And one of the things we heard was dinosaur through someone's like app that would spirit box that would bring up words and stuff, and one of the words was dinosaur, and like Shay sitting next to this giant dinosaur. So sometimes those coincidence, like it could be coincidence, but also when you have a coincidence that has a tie-in to a building like that, like it.
I mean,
the story about
I truly don't believe in coincidences.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we were gonna get to the story about a stuffed animal lion, and I want you guys to remember this. Spoilers ahead. Stuffed. No, that's not a spoiler. That's like, ooh, what is the?
It's a breadcrumb.
What is a yeah? It's a breadcrumb. There you go. I love it. Before we even had that moment with Buddy in his room, we stumbled upon a group of investigators who were in a hallway, and they believed they were talking to Buddy because the spirit was being very playful. Like they were playing with cars, and he was touching the cat ball, and he was grabbing on and holding to the REM pod, and it was just going like nonstop, which usually people feel is children's spirits because it's like very playful.
yes. So hallways are just creepy AF, first of all. And then when you're in an abandoned hospital and
Long
it's nighttime,
hallway.
it's a very long hallway. So we are more towards the end of one of the hallways, and it's like they have the ginormous hospital doors that go into the stairwell. And it is dark over there, and there's just like the red exit sign glowing. And so we're like interacting, watching Buddy play with the things that are there, and it was really fun and interesting. And I just felt so heavy, and like I felt like I could see something out of the corner of my eye, and then I would turn and look, and like there was obviously nothing there, but there was something there. And it felt like the dark there was so just dark and menacing, and I knew something was there. And you guys can help me fill in my memory gap, but I remember, I feel like me and someone saw
Something walk.
and like went into the room that was next to where in the hallway they were playing.
It's crazy because spoilers are breadcrumbs for night 2, but a very like eerily similar situation occurs.
Yeah, we definitely had more activity the second night. The first night we had activity and it was fun, but the second night was one of those nights when you're like, I really can't explain this.
Yeah.
Moments, and that we'll talk about. But Lou was like, that was the first, because I was at the very beginning of our investigation. We had a few things happen that were fun, but really just, getting into the rhythm.
Yeah.
And this was the first time we like saw all these things going off. And even Todd and Donna put down their REM pod, and that went off. Our cat ball went off. So like it wasn't just these people's equipment. Our equipment also was reacting.
Yeah.
So that's Buddy. And then there's a few other spirits, but a lot of the stuff we got during the night was, we won't be necessarily attaching it to one of these spirits. It just kind of felt more of we were talking and feeling people, but we don't know who they were, other than maybe Buddy that one time.
Yeah.
Well, except for our very first experience that night, which was when we walked into Jim, who was the former caretaker of the hospital's like living quarters area. This was very early on in the night where we had just separated, and we were excited, and we were with Donna and Todd for the first time since Thomas' house, and we were like, all right, where do we want to go? And we took off, and you all left me to begin with in the dark, and I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
We would never do that.
And we kind of just started exploring, and we found ourselves in the caretaker's room. And as we were in there, we set out some equipment and whatnot, and all of a sudden there's a smell of smoke. And the window was slightly open, and we knew people were just starting to explore. So we were like, oh, I'm sure there's someone who is out on the front porch area.
Yeah. Who
smoking.
just having their last ciggy before they get started ghost hunting.
And so I'm like, oh, well, let me go check, and walk out to the front porch to see no one and smell nothing. It doesn't smell like smoke out there. I asked, hey, was someone just smoking? And they were like, no. And I was like, well, it smells like smoke, like cigarette smoke in Jim's room. And they go, well, that's because Jim was a notorious smoker. And so it could have been smoke embedded in the walls. But
how quickly it all came, it like hit us all like a brick wall, and it hit us like at the same time.
And later on that night, at the very end, I mean, we were there till 1 a.m, and I thought, does the room still smell like smoke? And so I went back, and it didn't. And I stood in there, and I like took some big whiffs,
He
and
sniffed
nothing.
the walls and I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and like unless there was someone out there smoking and we just didn't know or they weren't there, that is obviously
The only rational explanation.
Yes.
But
I
the
like
fact
how we still try to rationalize it.
Oh, of course.
that right.
Well, because our brains are programmed to not believe this stuff because that's what we've been told.
Yeah.
And we feel like when you talk about this to people, you have to because you feel stupid because you're like, they look at you like, oh, you believe this? And you're like, so you're trying to be like, no, I understand that there is rationality to it, but you also weren't there and you didn't feel it.
Yeah.
So like there's a difference.
Well, I also really appreciate that Tim's role in our ghost hunts has always been trying very hard to
Yes.
debunk things.
Yeah. Yes.
And just be the skeptic. And the fact that he went back multiple times to try to do that.
Yeah.
Just, I think, further proves that no, this was a real experience that we all smelled.
Yeah.
And it was not explainable.
Just to clarify, I was not laughing at us rationalizing when crazy things happen. I'm laughing at us rationalizing when we rationalized it already and we're like, it could have been this, but we're like, no, wait,
Yeah. When even you have
like
to take,
when we're like,
you're
did that
skeptic about
actually
your own
happen?
stuff. Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite things was in lead up to going, my sister and family came over and I was showing them all of the types of equipment. And even then I'm rationalizing like to them, well, if we heard something, it would probably be this or it would probably be that. And so I'm constantly in that headspace of what is this actually? Because I'm probably on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 2 or 3 of believer. I just have not had that obvious experience. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I'm more like a 4 or 5 after we get to Harriman.
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 Yeah, that night was crazy. But
Yeah, I wasn't there and I'm
No.
still so salty about
and
it.
it still wasn't like a moment where we saw it.
Yeah,
well,
without a
actually,
doubt,
some of us
but-
did see one. So maybe
That's true.
I mean, that was a weird. And then the other really cool thing that happened in the hospital for us was there was this room. So okay, let's rewind. Tim and I actually drove by this hospital when we went on a like little trip to Chattanooga, and because I just knew about it, Project Fear went there for one of their first episodes, and I just have already seen people investigate this place, so I knew it was here, and so we went by and just drove, and I looked at this window and I was like, there's something in that room. And I was like, And
For context, this is the top floor leftmost window. And was it open?
it was open, yeah.
Okay. So this is like one of the only windows that's open, and it looks creepy from the outside.
And maybe that's why my eye was just drawn to it. But like, and then when we got there again, I was like, yeah, that's the window. And then I felt weird about. And so we get lost peeing. We like left Todd and Donna and Tim and us three went to go find a bathroom. And so we find a bathroom and then
Because fun fact, in abandoned buildings, there's not lights and there's not water. And
yeah, there's only certain bathrooms you can
Only certain
use.
bathrooms
And we have a
work.
pregnant woman with us. Though you
Yeah.
did great. You slayed.
You did so great.
Anyways, and
Traumatized.
so we get into this building and we're like all lost and we all end up going to this room, like finding each other. And we're like, oh, we should do this room. This is the room I felt weird about. Then we sit down and do an investigation. And this one felt pretty cool just because of what the words we were getting, not understanding. And then someone came in and told us what the room was. And we were like, oh my God, we just got these words. So do you remember, we asked who she was.
So I remember, I only remember bits and pieces because pregnancy brain.
I
But
have no excuse other than I have terrible memory.
I was trying to do like a self-enclosed Estes method by recording my words while I was listening to the ASMR radio. That's not it. The spirit box.
Yeah, and maybe that was, I think Tim said behind you, Right. We got behind you on some equipment, and the only really behind was Shaylin. Shay was sitting in a chair, and there was a corner behind her.
Yes.
And everything else was like, there's nothing behind us. We're all sitting.
No, I was sitting in a rocking chair right next to
Why
the.
did you sit in a rocking chair?
I know, we sat in several rocking chairs.
Yeah, sat in a rocking chair.
Yeah. Never buy a rocking chair.
Well, it was also next to this big bookshelf that had a bunch of like mementos and little tchotchkes all over it. But behind that, like in that corner, there was literally nothing.
It was
like,
a dark
just
corner,
an
too.
empty corner.
Like Lou talking about darkness earlier, it felt weird. And dark is a weird word to talk about too, because sometimes you immediately think of something evil, but that's not always the case. Like maybe a spirit is just taking up energy there.
Yeah,
and
taking up space.
taking up space. Yes, we believe in taking up space.
Clock it.
Clock it. So we were like, that's a weird corner. This is the room Kay felt weird about. And then a girl walks in and what was her
itty bitty waist. Sorry. I'm sorry.
And a loud thing in your face.
She walks in and we're like, oh, hey, do you know any information about this room? And she actually was one of the volunteers. So she was like, oh, yeah, this is, and I'm blanking on her name.
We're literally all blanking on this woman's name, which is crazy because I think
it's not Penny, is it?
No.
Okay.
But it's the ghost who lives in this room it was an older lady ghost who
I
passed
also
away.
feel like this is like one of the stories that we heard about one of the spirits that impacted all of us.
Yeah.
And the fact that we are all blanking on her
Yeah.
name is so annoying
It is
to
so
me.
annoying. But she passed away in this hospital. Her family basically dropped her off, abandoned her, and like she hates when you close the door because they used to lock her in there.
She had dementia.
So she slowly decayed there, basically. And this is her room. Some other ghosts are protective of her. There was someone in her life that was protective at the hospital, and that spirit's believed to be there too. I don't know much about that one.
Well, we also, like, you were getting information on your spirit box that included, like, a man's name. And it was like we were talking to a man, and then...
Yeah. Well, we got behind... Tim said that, or we got it on our box, and she said that in that corner is where she died.
Right.
And we were like, so what? Like, this all lines up. It's talking very elderly. It was like, it just felt that way. And so that was a really fun moment to like interact with a ghost that we didn't know anything about. And then our evidence lined up instead of you trying to line up evidence. Like the smoke, like not the smoke. The smoke was another one of those examples, but something that like makes sense when you have more context instead of being like, oh, we know that there's a whistle at the Thomas house. Did we? And then we are listening for a whistle instead of just being like, oh my God, we heard a whistle. And they're like, oh, well, this ghost whistles. And you're like, what the fuck?
Right.
Yeah, you're like, well, we heard that.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
And actually, I was just listening to a podcast episode about how ESP works. And a lot of people believe that obviously science can't prove it, but part of it is this like, if you are anticipating that you're going to hear something or see something, then you likely will because you are observing and you're hyper aware of that.
Yeah, it's like the Ford Fiesta.
yes, when you see
Theory.
it, you see it everywhere because you bought one.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're open and you're,
Yeah. Well, and I think
makes
that's,
sense.
we didn't know much about these hospitals and their ghosts. So I think that was a fun thing kind of stumbling into figuring it out and wanting to be respectful of that knowledge if that ghost did approach you. It was fun to know about Buddy a little bit. The next hospital, I mean, I know nobody in it. We knew like nothing about.
We knew zero things about it, and we also got there a little late, so we didn't even hear like the historic briefing. So
we're like, we're here.
Well, and that's also partially because that hospital, Harriman, was closed more recently in like 2013, 14. And so it just in general hasn't been investigated as much. And the story into how we heard about that was actually because Ronnie, the night we were at OSPH, was telling everyone, if you think this place is cool, you should go check out the other hospital I own. We're doing an investigation there tomorrow night. And we all kind of collectively, including Todd and Donna, looked at each other and went, Now, it wasn't until the next morning around like
10
or 1 o'clock, 10 a.m., that we go, okay, we should do this. And we bought the tickets. And on the way there, we watched the Destination Fear, now Project Fear, episode where they go to Old Harriman. And part of what allures people there is that it hasn't been that investigated. And so they don't know what's haunting it, which, yeah, just adds to the creepiness.
Before we get into the history of Old Historic Harriman, I have a story to share.
You have a story to share. This is called Ghost Stories with Lou, Part 2.
Oh my God.
Welcome
I
to the
love
segment. Sorry, there's someone in the window.
That's a normal person walking downstairs.
That. Aren't they all normal people walking downstairs?
I don't know anymore.
Have you guys seen the movie The Others?
Yes.
Am I the others? Staring in other people's houses?
Well, I don't want to give away the big plot twist, but it's a fantastic plot twist. Anyways.
All right, Lou, tell us your
Ghost Stories
ghosties.
with Lou. So I was at my mom's shop today. For context, my mom reupholsters furniture, and she has this ancient building in a small town in Tennessee, and the building used to be a bank. So there's this giant vault in it. It's super cool, like concrete all around. It has the huge door on it with the spinny lock thing or whatever. Super cool.
Doodad.
Yeah, so my mom has told me multiple stories of her shop being haunted. There's 2 spirits that she's aware of. There's one that's connected to the land, and then there's one that's connected to the vault. So the one that's connected to the land is a very angry spirit, and I haven't personally had any interactions with that one. She says it's a soldier from either like the Civil War, Revolutionary War, not entirely sure. I think it's the Civil War. And she has been suffocated multiple times by this spirit. Like she wakes up, she can't breathe, and the blankets are over her face type
Absolutely
thing.
not.
Yeah. So then I haven't experienced that spirit, but we are going to go experience that
I don't know
spirit
anymore.
eventually.
That is one of my deepest fears, to be strangled while I sleep. Okay.
But we won't be sleeping.
Maybe that happened to me in a past life. I just realized.
Probably.
That sounds
So-
very familiar.
So today I was at my mom's shop and I was like, Mom, where are the spirits active? Like, I want to use my spirit box and like see if I can talk to anyone. She's like, oh, well, there's the one that's connected to the land that's like everywhere, but then there's the one that's mostly in the vault because he died in the vault. And so I'm like, okay. So I go in there. Also,
I like how you're like a 10-year-old boy in your voice to your mom. Mom, where's your ghost? Show me the ghost, Mom.
show me the ghost, Mom.
Yeah, please continue this throughout the story. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, I'm in the vault. Also, I feel so stupid ghost hunting by myself because you're just talking
Oh, I do
out
too.
loud. Anyways, so I was
That
like,
thing that's been following me lately, I'm like, hello?
are you a friend or foe?
Hello? I'm like, am I seeing you? Okay, bye. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm by myself. This is scary. Okay.
I wouldn't even remember what this too. Okay, so I'm in the vault and I'm like, hey, my mom said that there's a spirit in here. You guys,
You could crack your voice.
I-
My mom said you're in here.
You guys, really, I did all of this. Anyway, so I have the spirit talker open and then I'm like, if like, is there a spirit in here? Whatever. And then it says me so loud. And I was like, okay. And then it said harm. And I'm pretty sure that, what?
Sorry, I just like the fact that you said it said me so loud.
Listen,
Just turn the volume down on your phone,
listen,
Lou.
I hadn't. Okay, so when we were ghost hunting with Todd and Donna, Todd was like, I can't get the voice to come out of my phone. And Tim was like, oh, you have to turn the volume on. Like the little switch on your iPhone that to turn the volume on. So then I did that after it said other things that didn't make sense. And then I turned that on and it scared the shit out of me. So thank you for pointing that out. Anyways, but
What was that? Shit her pants. That'd be.
oh my God, speaking of shitting your pants,
One story at a time, Louisa. One story at
I
a time.
can't. I just love talking.
We love your
Anyways,
talking.
this is why we have a podcast. The real
Yeah.
reason we have a podcast.
We
is
love
so we can
talking.
have spooky stories with Lou.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was just really cool, and I'm excited to. That is the climax of the story. It said harm, and he died in the vault. I'm pretty sure he killed himself in the vault, and it was just. It was just very interesting. And I felt like I could hear my ears ringing. It felt like there was, when I went into the vault and started talking and like heard things coming through, the energy shifted in the room with me, and like my ears were ringing. It felt like I had cotton in my ears, and it just felt heavy in there. And then the second I stepped out, it was clear as day. It was just so interesting.
So my question would be, you received the words, and I guess I should preface this with the intuition and the kind of coincidences and connections that we create as we receive these words is part of the ghost hunting experience. Crafting the narrative and kind of trusting your gut. You received the words me and harm, but didn't connect that to yourself as if they were going to harm you. But instead, you walk me through that. You felt what?
Because before I started asking questions, I grounded myself in the room, and I made myself safe. And so I knew that whatever was in there didn't have any ill will towards me. And I don't know, I think I can feel that energy shift. Like when we were in South Pittsburgh, whatever that place is called. When I saw that shadowy figure, like that felt dark, and that felt not necessarily like ill will, but it felt different. It didn't feel like a welcoming, open energy to me. And so I don't know, I was just reading a base of that. It very well could have meant harm me. But then I remembered, I looked back at the log. I was like, my Kevin and I would really love to come and investigate and like talk more to you and figure things out or whatever.
And it said, no way, Jose.
It said highest 10.
Nice.
So that is a confirmation for me.
It said, yes.
Yes.
You guys are a 10.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10.
10.
Do it.
10.
Do it. Come back.
What you're saying about energy kind of ties into this next location, because that's what we kind of felt. I felt a negative energy there. Like I have never, in one of these ghost investigations we had, like I'm scared of things, but when I'm in there, there's something about it that feels very calming to me when I'm doing an investigation. Like I don't have a lot of fear.
Except for when we stared down that hallway during an OSPH.
Even then, I was like, yeah, we did stare down a hallway.
I was freaking
for a long time,
out.
and it was really, really creepy. But for me, like, me and Luke kept on feeling something behind us, and that was a little weird feeling, like tingly, but nothing compared to what I felt in here.
One final thing on OSPH from my perspective is on the drive back, and so one last thing on OSPH, especially about energy looking down the hallways, is on the drive back, and considering it was 2 a.m. because we got to be there till like 1:15, 1:30, I felt like I was somewhat poo-pooing on the night, because overall I didn't have that like, oh, this was awesome. Looking back, I realized like the smoke and the very first rooms, like it was all front loaded as far as our experiences. Everything else kind of felt like, and I think that might be because we lost part of our energy towards the beginning of the night, whereas the second night we paced ourselves in a way and allowed ourselves to kind of be directed that really helped us channel that energy to where I feel like it just continued to build. And so, I don't know, with OSPH, it was a really great experience, but it was more feeling than it was true experiences, if that makes sense. Like, we felt things and made connections, but I don't think there was ever a single true experience outside of like the smoke and Lou seeing this shadowy corner of the eye thing. And of course, at Harriman, there was a lot more.
All right, guys, that's the first half of our 2-part series on the haunted hospitals of Tennessee. We are going to do a part 2 next, so stay tuned and listen, and we will see you next time. The light in me sees the light in you, guys.
Bye, witchlings.
See ya. Hey, bitches. I'm just kidding. Hey, witchlings. Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. Hey, witchlings. Welcome to part 1 of our haunted hospital serious. I don't know. Someone else do it. I can't.
Yeah,
No, do it again. Do it again. Say it again.
say it with confidence.
Hey, Witchlings.
I'm a man. No, men aren't confident. Okay, there you go.
You've grown so much through this one episode because you started as a child in your mother's house.
A teenage boy. Okay.